The path to the independence of the United States of America was a long and arduous one, rooted in mounting tensions between the 13 American colonies and Great Britain throughout the mid-18th century. After the costly 7 Years' War, known as the French and Indian War in North America, Britain sought to replenish its coffers by imposing a series of taxes and policies on the colonies, arguing that they should contribute to the cost of their own defense. These measures, including the Stamp Act of 1765 and the Townshend Acts of 1767, ignited widespread protests based on the principle of no taxation without representation, as colonists had no direct voice in the British Parliament. Events like the Boston Massacre in 1770, where British soldiers fired on a crowd of protesters, and the Boston Tea Party in 1773, a defiant act against the Tea Act, further escalated hostilities. In response, Britain passed the coercive acts dubbed the Intolerable Acts by the colonists in 1774, which closed Boston Harbor, curtailed self-governance in Massachusetts, and mandated the quartering of British troops. These punitive measures galvanized colonial unity, leading to the convening of the First Continental Congress in September 1774, where delegates from 12 colonies asserted their rights and organized boycotts of British goods. Despite early attempts at reconciliation, such as the Olive Branch Petition sent to King George III, the situation continued to deteriorate. On April 19, 1775, the shot heard round the world was fired at Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts, marking the beginning of armed conflict. The Second Continental Congress, which convened in May 1775, took on the role of a governing body, establishing the Continental Army and appointing George Washington as its commander-in-chief. Thomas Paine's influential pamphlet Common Sense, published in January 1776, further swayed public opinion towards complete separation from British rule, articulately arguing for the inherent rights of self-governance. On June 7, 1776, Richard Henry Lee of Virginia introduced a resolution in Congress declaring the colonies free and independent states. A committee, primarily led by Thomas Jefferson, drafted the Declaration of Independence, a powerful articulation of Enlightenment ideals and grievances against the British Crown. On July 2, 1776, Congress voted in favor of independence, and 2 days later, on July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was formally adopted. This monumental document not only severed political ties with Britain, but also served as a philosophical blueprint for a new nation founded on principles of liberty, equality, and popular sovereignty. The Declaration, however, marked only the formal beginning of the American Revolutionary War. The next 7 years were a brutal struggle for survival against the formidable British military. Key battles such as Saratoga in 1777, which secured crucial French assistance, and the eventual siege of Yorktown in 1781, where American and French forces cornered British General Cornwallis, turned the tide in favor of the Americans. The support of France, providing naval power, troops, and supplies, proved indispensable to the American cause. Finally, on September 3, 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, officially ending the war. Great Britain formally recognized the United States as a free, sovereign, and independent nation, granting it vast territories extending to the Mississippi River. The independence of the United States of America was thus secured, paving the way for the formation of a new republic and setting a precedent for self-determination that would resonate across the globe.